Welcome to Dialek Online, your online conversational English platform. Session 2. Today we're going to start practicing having conversations. Please refer to the module for your vocabulary words and helpful verbs to complete the conversations exercises. Let's talk about this. Have you seen the movie Spanglish? In this movie, a Mexican worker tries to get a job as a maid in an American household. The first time they meet, the employee does not know how to talk English, and the future employer doesn't know how to speak Spanish. Nonetheless, they are able to get along with each other, and they discover that they both want to learn each other's language. Introductions have two ways of happening. They are verbal and also nonverbal. It is very important when meeting someone to establish a clear communication, both in verbal and nonverbal formats. Today we will look at two kinds of meetings, formal meetings and informal meetings. We will practice conversations for both scenarios. Be prepared. Introduce yourself with confidence. The trick with meeting someone new is to do it with confidence. In the next couple of slides, we will practice two types of conversations, formal and informal. In many informal conversations, questions will be very personal. In most formal conversations, as in business meetings or interview sessions, you will have to know about your profession, and they will most likely be not personal. Informal scenario. Let's pretend that you are meeting your partner's friend at a party. In this scenario, the questions are going to be very formal. Let's use the module conversation model. Hi, how are you? My name is Laura, and you are? Nice to meet you. How long have you lived with your partner? And where do you live? Do you like this music? In this scenario, you want to ask questions about the personal information as the person's place of living, where do they come from? You may even go into, are you married? Do you have any children? And also, you want to ask questions about their personal interests. Now take a minute and write down your answers to those questions. What is your name? Where do you live? Where do you come from? Are you married? Do you have children? What do you like to do on your day off? Now let's practice a conversation in a formal scenario. Imagine you are meeting your new co-workers. In this conversation, you want to remain professional. So use formal greetings such as good morning if it is before noon. Good afternoon if it's anywhere between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. Good evening if it's after 6 p.m. Remember, we only use good night as a farewell in English. Now let's practice a formal conversation. Hello, I am your new co-worker. My name is Laura Vélez. Nice to meet you. How long have you worked here? What is it that you do in this company? Do you like your job? Imagine that you are in a formal conversation. What would you answer to those questions? What follow-up question would you ask? Compare the scenarios. How did you feel in the informal scenario? And how did you feel in the formal one? Did you notice that the formal scenario focuses entirely on the business conversation? It is all about the job. In an informal scenario, you can go as personal as you wish. Keep in mind that you must separate these two scenarios. You don't want to be informal in a business meeting, and you don't want to be very formal in a social gathering. For our next session, we strongly recommend that you watch the movie The Intern. In this movie, you will be able to observe Robert De Niro's character move between these two types of conversations. He will have formal conversations with his boss, Jules, but he will also have informal conversations with his coworkers. We're looking forward to discussing this in our next session. See you soon.